Hello there. So today we are going to be opening the Akashic Records, and you may know what the Akashic Records are. The Akashic realm is a dimensional space that is the all and the everything that that exists. So it is not, their linear time is not part of the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records is a place where there are very, very powerful guides, guardians, and teachers who I work with within the Akashic realm. And it is a place where if you're seeking answers, or if there's a piece of information that needs to come through either for healing or for alignment, this is the place where we can find the truth. So if a situation arises that requires us to dig a little deeper and seek out the truth of what is going on, it often surprises us very much what comes through. Many layers of and aspects of transmissions can come through within the Akashic Records. So a question could be asked, and something can come back to the person's lineage, somebody in their ancestry, something that had taken place. It could come back to an interaction that day with the person at work. It could come to a very broad, beautiful landscape that's a metaphor for the healing and transformation that will occur if kind of the messages are received and the transmission is received and then implemented. So I have had a very, very deep relationship with the Akashic Records, and it has completely transformed my life. I have always been a spiritual seeker, and I have always and I say always because as a child, I remember my my family and the paths they were taking, and how I was on that path and within it, but also seeking, always seeking. So at the age of 18, I went into body work and massage therapy because I truly felt at that time, I had originally planned to become a veterinarian, but I felt deeply that I needed to really follow the path of discovering about the body, as that would be the key to my, at the time I was thinking, my health, my spiritual growth, my children's health, future children, and just that it would be of great benefit for me to go down that road rather than a medical road. So I have been, this is the year that I turned 40, so I have been practicing body work, energy work, and healing modalities for over 20 years now professionally. And before that, I also did that kind of work in within my friends and family. So it has been a journey, let's say, and I am really learning. I'm really learning so much about how we already have what we are seeking. It is already here. So about 2 years ago, I had maybe going to 3 years, but there was a period of time where I was very unhealthy, very unwell, and there have been a lot of healings, transformations, and shedding since then that I feel I am in a space of more wholeness than I have ever experienced in this lifetime. So the I won't go into details, but there was a very big surgery, endometrial related surgery, for a very large growth in my abdomen, and the process leading up to that was seeking healing and naturopathic medicine, and kind of trying to fine tune all of the facets of life, the balance of stress and regular life. That, my goal was at the time to not have the surgery, and in the end, it was actually the most perfect path, because it really allowed me to deepen into my work, my meditation, my fear of death, my vulnerability. And the moment I was being wheeled down the hall for the surgery was really a transforming moment of my life. And I released, let go, and allowed trust, probably for the first time in my life. And that unraveled a certain process that continued for the next, until now, I would say. But there was a major accident in about 5 months after that, where I crashed my bike, and I had a very severe head injury that took a year and a half to resolve. So that is from May 2016 until September 2017, that whole process. So there was this whole process of healing and deepening in the healing, and with brain injury specifically, I was injured on my left side, and amazingly enough, these intuitive and spiritual gifts and abilities became so powerful, because I was unable to read. I'm tearing up right now just speaking about it, but I was unable to read. I was unable to do math calculations. I would sit in my car. I was still able to drive after a certain point in time, and I would sit in the car and I would look at the road in front of me, and I would basically know where I was, but I did not have a grasp of how to get where I was going, or there was no map in my head, like how we all have a map in our head, like we're traveling along this road, and then the on-ramp will appear, and then we'll get onto the highway. And so that map had disappeared, and I was just where I was, and that was all I knew. And I could be facing forward or backward, and I wouldn't necessarily be able to determine the difference. So it was very disconcerting, and and a very challenging time, but at the same time, an incredibly awakening time. And I've heard this before from people that brain injury can really bring about transformation. So I am actually, despite the struggle that I went through, I am immensely grateful for the brain injury. I am 100% completely healed at this time, and I say healed in not in a shy way in any sense. I healed in what would be called a miracle healing. I was on a shamanic journey weekend, a women's weekend, and a lot happened in that weekend, but we were encouraged to it was a soul retrieval work. which is when you're encouraged to work with your power animal or your spirit guide and go deep into these other realms, the lower worlds, the middle worlds, the upper worlds, where you can seek out answers. And in fact, I've spoken about this before, but other people who work with shamanic work, and my work with the Akashic records, and the work of others who work in the realm of, for example, constellations therapy, family constellations therapy, where you're working with the family soul and you're looking at the patterning and the ancestry and how it all plays out. It's all the same. It's all the same thing. The modalities are different, the structure is different. How we go about the ceremony to do with these practices are different, but the work and the realms and the spaces where the healing occurs are the same. So I love this work. I love this journey. The ability to try. So just to begin where I left off, the work is profound. The depth of these different modalities that can create these containers to hold on to this space. And then often there's people and practitioners who are holding the space for you to dive in and do the journey and do the work. So I'm here today because I want to go into the Akashic records and see what comes through, and what messages need to come forward to all of us today, and what if anyone comes on, because I happen to be on live. This is a really new platform for me, YouTube. I've just opened it up in the last couple of months, and I've only posted a couple of videos. So as the videos go up, I'm planning to do lives frequently, because I feel when I'm watching a live, I really enjoy the interaction and the ability to communicate with the individual. But I do believe that whenever we put an intention and energy out into this space, which is really another realm, the realm of the internet, we can access something from the past in a way that is so real and bringing it into the present, that these tools that we have are truly spiritual tools to allow us to expand and grow from. So when I'm watching recorded work, it has as deep an impact as when I am watching a live. I really enjoy being on lives when I can, because I can engage with the healer and just sometimes if I have a question, it is possible to interact. So my goal is, more often than not, I plan to have live videos on YouTube. So there will definitely be recordings, because I'm going to take lives from Facebook or Instagram and bring them over to YouTube, or also pre-recorded content. In my courses, a lot of the content is pre-recorded, but I do a question and answer period so that individuals get the opportunity for the live. And generally speaking, we go into the records, we open the records, and we work with the energies as well in those question and answer periods. So that is really incredible for the individuals that are part of my courses. So now I'm just going to tune in, and what I'd like to do, if my intention will be to clear chakras, to clear energy, and to just go through the energetic field of the collective, of the individuals who either now or in the future are watching this video, and the if you are open to receiving, that is your consent. So if you're not open to receiving the work, then that is something you do internally within your own system. So you don't have to speak to me about it, but you just close off the ability to receive. I strongly recommend when you trust a healer, and when you're open to feeling the healing energies of the work and allowing anything that does not serve to clear whenever there is an opportunity. It is life transformative, and you will continue to shed these layers even while you're not in tune with the video, in tune with the healer. If you've had a session, these linear time is not what we think it is, and these layers continue to move, and the threads continue to fall off as we move into greater embodiment and alignment in ourselves. So my goal with this clearing that I'm going to move into before I open the records is, my goal is to bring your soul into your physical body fully. So we have areas sometimes where there may be a blockage due to physical trauma, emotional trauma, spiritual trauma. There are many reasons that someone could have an area that is blocked from the energy perfusing through fully and expanding out. So we have energetic field around us and within us, and there can be twists in the energy. There can be changes in like polarity. Many things can happen. There can be shadows or attachments of it's usually missing energy, but it appears like darkness when we look at it at the light. We see patches of darkness or shadow, but really it's just the absence of the light being able to penetrate that area. My teacher, John Barnes, who is the founder of John F. Barnes Myofascial Release, his body work is very profound, because he goes in to the tissue and just meets the resistance, and then works with the many layers. He doesn't often speak to the many layers. He's mostly speaking to the physical body because he is a physical therapist, but all the layers are part of it. And as a release can happen in the fascia on the physical level, it totally manifests outward into the energetic body, so the body will become more whole on all of the 10 bodies with these releases. And then nourishment can go into the area, oxygen, nutrition, and blood flow, and can penetrate the area and heal on the physical level. So there are lots of layers to this work, and having worked with the body for a little over 20 years now, I am profoundly grateful to be in this human experience, in this human body, to be able to work as a spiritual being in a physical body and experience that connection with other beings. I will never give that up. As much as I have moved into this online work, I'm always keeping a day and a half of doing hands-on clinical work in my practice, my physical practice, and that will always remain to some in some capacity. I will always keep the hands-on component of my work, and despite the fact that I love reaching all of you out in various places on the planet. So thank you again for watching, and thank you for being here. And I'm going to post afterwards in the comments that the healing transmission starts at 21 and a half minutes or so, like that. Okay, so we're going to breathe here, feeling into your body. Taking breaths. I'm just going to feel into the collective, and I'm going to do some work. I'm going to start at the root and just start clearing those chakras. The 7 main chakras. We're at the heart. There's a lot coming up in the throat here. This is about speaking our voice of truth. What are we here to say? Why are we here? What is our role? What are we meant to bring through? The third eye is very strong on many of us on this video. It's like I can feel the third eye of all of us together. Clearing the crown. Many people on the planet at this time have blockages in the crown and the third eye. I always strongly suggest ensure for your pineal gland that you are not taking in much more than just trace amounts of fluoride in your life. Some spring water has a little bit of fluoride, but city water in most cities, tap water has much more fluoride. Toothpaste has much more fluoride than our systems can handle, and it ends up solidifying, similar to calcifying, but I guess it's called fluoridification, and the deposits end up in different parts of our body, including the teeth, which is why it's so beneficial for the teeth, but also including in the pineal gland, which is not a place where it's of benefit to have fluoride reside. So now that I've cleared these chakras, I am going to bring as I was explaining before, when we don't fully reside in our body in certain places, there can be areas where the energy is not fully penetrated. So I'm just pulling, as I do in the body work that I do when I work with clients, I'm pulling the energy back into the legs, basically pulling your soul back. And this process I don't always do when I'm opening the Akashic records, so this is more of a healing with than the message that will come through. So right now, when I feel that the collective of all the individuals with me now, as well as anyone who will watch this video at any point in time in the future, that entire collective is who I'm working with at this time. And I do this often on Zoom with groups, and also on the Facebook, and many people will watch the video after the live. So it's a very powerful energy, I feel, because the collective is very strong here. Okay, so taking some breaths here. Feel your body all the way through. Feel as though your energetic field is expanding out in all dimensions, back and forward, up and down. Okay, so we're ready to open the records. So just taking some breaths here, feel into your space. Opening the records here with each breath that I take. Calling in all of the guides, guardians, and teachers, the soul lineage of all those watching this recording, as well as the soul, my soul lineage, and all those that are connected to the stories of our soul. calling in the vibrational record of this particular day, this particular week, this very powerful portal that we're currently in between 12:12 and 12:21. There's a lot going on right now in the field. It's very, very strong. I feel it in all layers of these dimensions, the interdimensionality of our selves, and all the layers of our 10 bodies. So you can feel into the entire planet, the entire universe. So we're continuing to open the records. The door between worlds now ceases to exist. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. The records are open. So I feel a big shift in the heart and the solar plexus here. And the solar plexus is what's coming through. The guides are telling me to speak about the connection between heart and solar plexus. So some have called our solar plexus our true heart, and the connection between our power, our center of power, and our ability, our love. So just our love is fully shining outward. It is very much a feeling of like an open, so hard to put into words, but the love, that the sensation of love within the heart is a very similar sensation to the sensation in the solar plexus, that when it opens and we reach another individual and make connection with them, we feel the glow, the warmth, the power, the ability for us to step into our power can only happen when our heart is open. So when we are fully vulnerable and fully open, yet standing strong in our power and feeling very aligned, the heart and the solar plexus have this interplay of creating a dynamic relationship with anything on the planet that we come across. So our plant that we're nurturing and watering and helping to grow, our children, our small little mug that we're washing to make our tea in. There's a vibrational record of everything on the planet, and it contains the stories of everything going forward and back related to that object, person, place, thing, time period. If you think of a mug that was crafted by someone, maybe it was crafted in a factory, or maybe someone molded it or made it on a wheel, the energy of that being is inside the mug. Every item in your presence, in your home, is telling you a story. And if you take the time to tune into these energies that are coming into your heart and into your solar plexus, as well as your energy of shining outward, there's this interplay that's happening. You can gain information that can guide you in your divine alignment. This is why people, as they practice spiritually, they become minimalists. They have less and less, because the things of great value are very precious, but we're not attached to them. But the stories of the soul of that item are incredibly precious. And this is the it's so rich in its way, because the interactions that we can have with every being, every item, is incredibly profound. It is like when you touch a book, you're touching the stories of the souls of all of the individuals that are written about in the book, the person who did the printing, the person who did the binding, all of the individuals were related to that particular item. So the Akashic records and the Akashic Guides are telling me now that why I'm speaking about this element to our way in the world, and our ability to come back into connection with the everyone and everything. The reason they want to bring this to your attention is because our interactions in every aspect of life are truly profoundly important. The devotion that we make to all of the individuals that we come into contact with, whether it's the man at the gas station, or the person who crashed into our car, or our child's teacher, or even a little man that's sitting on the side of the road that looks very lonely, sitting on a park bench or something like that. All of these interactions are part of our universe. And if we're ignoring 95% of these interactions, we're not feeling necessarily. And then we cannot stay in our alignment. So spending time in nature, spending time with the humans on the planet is paramount for this embodiment. So feel into your body right now and see if you can move a little bit. Move your body a little bit to just feel any areas that may need a little love and movement, and rolling into any stiffness. And this is all part of how we can allow our heart, solar plexus, to stay open, and our energetic field to be within the entire system of the body. I'm just checking on the screen if there are any messages. So the records here in this space are speaking clearly to us and telling us the record of this time period, this particular portal of time between 12:12 and 12:21. Our message to you, they say, is to be in your body, notice everything, feel what the stories of the souls of all of these items, people, animals are telling you. Feel into the stories and feel that mug when you're holding it and you're drinking your tea or your coffee or your special vegan eggnog or whatever you're enjoying right now in this season. Feel the stories of all of the ingredients, where they came from, what is in the mug itself, what is in its soul, and send it love and blessings. Our offering of love and blessings is not ever being forced, but when we offer our love and blessings, we're opening up to the possibility of the stories of something else that's in connection with us receiving. And that is what will elevate the planet, increase the frequency, and elevate the entire system, which is of our universe, which is all of what we are here for. So I am really, really, really grateful for this message today. It is profoundly beneficial for me at this moment, and at this very busy time. There's another 4 to 7 days for me where I have a lot of happenings, a lot of family engagements and happenings coming up in my life, and I want to stay very, very, very grounded in the feeling in my body and feel very aligned through this time. So I'm going to offer blessings and appreciation and tune in to these stories of the souls of all of that which I come into contact with. I'm so grateful for your presence. And I'm going to close the records now. Sending our love and gratitude to the Akash, to the guides, guardians, and teachers of this space. Thank you, powerful beings of light. Grateful to the beings, the soul lineage of you, all of you who are in contact with this video at this time or in the future, calling all of those in contact with the stories of our soul. This weaves through everything. The gratitude is here for the soul lineage of myself and the vibrational record of this time from 12:12 to 12:21. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With each breath that we take, the door between worlds now ceases to exist. The space is closed, the records are closed, and so it is. Thank you. Mwah. Blessings. Goodbye.